goodness. I'm so excited.
Right now.
Yes.
We talking about one of them moguls. Mm-hmm. One of them people that's still so real that he'll juke online with them bad dance moves.
Uh-huh. Bad dance moves.
Whoa. I was liking the intro.
I went to mogul to no rhythm.
Yeah, he told the truth. It's not like it wasn't true. I just didn't like to hear it.
And with donuts for everybody.
Hey, you know what? Will Packer's in the building right now.
Yes. I'm up here. What's up, family? How y'all doing?
We are so good now that you're here.
Oh, man.
Let me tell you, first of all, this is an honor because Jackie Robinson is getting a lot of love from the Rays today to celebrate Jackie Robinson Day, and they got you out here to throw the first pitch.
Yeah.
How does that feel coming home in that kind of accolade and the season that they have in, too?
Yeah.
Oh, in all seriousness, it's such an amazing honor, right? Like, you know, we forget sometimes about the pioneers that laid the ground before us. So we just got to just give a moment and be like, yo, Jackie Robinson, right? I mean, the first ever.
Yes.
And it sounds cool after the fact to be like, oh, yo, he was the first black player to play off the color barrier. But you think about when he was doing it, it wasn't cool. He was catching a lot of flack, right? So he had to endure a lot of things in order to make it, right? But he did it, and now we honor him, and it's amazing. And then for them to call me, and this is my hometown.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
those of you that don't know, I'm literally from here, from the crib, you know, St. Pete High School, Bay Point Middle, Maxwell Elementary. Shout out to all them folks.
Look at that. I love it.
I am back, and my hometown team invites me to throw the opening pitch. It's such an honor, man.
That's
great.
sweet.
And you know what? You're not one of the guys that's from here that don't come. Because I got to tell you, man, I've been in many Bucks games, and I look on your page. I'm like, he here. Yeah. I'm like, does he got a house here? Like,
I don't miss a Bucks game, man.
Really?
I'm telling you. Oh, yeah. No, I'm up there. Shout out to Gary Sheffield. So me and him, we got a suite. Shout out to my guy, Titus. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Titus is great. We love Titus.
Absolutely. So we all got a suite together, and if I can help it, I'm here. I come home to the Ray J.
That
was when we was winning. We'll see what this post Brady era
we'll
looks
see what
like.
happens now.
Nah,
they keep talking about Brady's still gonna suit up. They like, hey, he ain't
Miami.
right.
He ain't coming back here.
I know. He's done with us. That's for sure.
There's a fire sale over there. Devin, like, I'm out. Come on. Tom out. I'm out. What's going on?
They not letting Devin out.
No,
They're not letting him out.
Were you initially excited because obviously you're such a big Bucks fan? Were you worried about Tom Brady coming here? I mean, we all saw what happened, but were you a little worried at
You
first?
say worried?
Yeah, because he was older.
Worried we might win too much?
I mean, everybody was kind of sketchy.
Here's the thing. First of all, Jameis is my guy. Like, he is, like, you know, that's the fam. So I was like, if we gonna get rid of James, we better bring in, like, some heat.
Yeah,
we better
some
bring
fire.
in somebody. But when you bring in the GOAT, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I wasn't worried about it. Once
Now-
we got in Tom, come on, let's go. Tommy 7 rings, let's get it, baby.
Now, Jameis, I know you out there in Hollywood and everything. When he started eating W's and stuff, you had to be like, I got to distance myself from
We were
all this.
worried for a second.
Come on now. You had to look around like, all right, that's my guy. But
Listen,
damn,
man,
like, come
let
on.
me tell you about my Hollywood people. First of all, you never want to meet your heroes, okay? I work with everybody. Just if you're in love with the on-screen persona, stick with that.
Yes.
People tell me all the time, hey, what is so-and-so like? You don't want to know.
You don't
I'm
wanna
going to tell you
ask
right
me.
now. If you
Yes.
like them in the movie or the TV show, imagine they like that all the time.
They not like that in their trailers.
At all.
You were born and raised here. Obviously,
Literally,
you're
yeah.
doing like
Born
all
in
the
Tampa,
shout
raised in
outs.
St. Pete.
So when you come back to town, you hear a lot. Are there any must-have places you need to visit when you're
Ooh.
here?
You know what? I used to always make sure I ran through Ybor City because when I was coming up, that was definitely the spot, right?
Yes.
I love the Ybor. Now, you know what? Central Ave St. Pete.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
hopping
It's
over
fun.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, being gone for so long and coming back and just seeing how St. Pete is, the growth, and it's so great. I love it. And then, of course, you know, I hit the beach. When you grow up here, I didn't appreciate the beach like I do now.
Yes.
Like, I literally grew up 5 minutes from the beach.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, you want to go? Nah, it's hot.
I'm
you know,
good.
now all I'm trying to do is find a beach. You know, it's like back in the day. Remember nap time, and the teacher was like, nap time. Oh, boo! Nobody want to take a nap.
Right.
I would pay somebody
To nap.
for a nap right now. A midday nap? Are you
Oh.
joking?
And juice?
What? And a snack? All I want to do is get back to kindergarten.
Are there any other food places or restaurants you really like here? Like you have to stop by?
You know what? Bouillon is amazing
Oh,
for sure.
I just
That
went there for
talk.
lunch.
Yeah,
So
no,
good.
Bouillon is dope. I hit Eddie V's, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
I like
nice.
Eddie V's, yeah. So some good spots. And then you know, I like my little greasy spoon spots, you know what I mean, on the beach. You ain't got to be fancy and white tablecloth, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
love
You got to get the greasy spoons.
Get in there with a little fried food. Now, Atlanta, you don't know nothing about the greasy spoon. You know,
I do know about greasy
brother,
spoons.
you weigh 100 120 pounds right now. You looking great over there, man.
And you trying to undermine me with these Krispy
I
Kreme
brought
donuts.
donuts for them, y'all. They won't
They're
even
right here.
eat them.
I'll show them on camera. And they're warm, too.
Listen,
Oh, come on. You know the hot sign.
Yeah.
I know about it.
He knows about it.
Yeah.
That shows you when your executive is real, when you know about the light. Now, let me just walk you through this real quick, because this is why this was so paramount. You are worldwide, your acclaim. I mean, we could talk beast, we could talk praise this, we could talk about everything that I love about what you do. But before all of that, I'm walking down past the FAM Pharmacy building.
Okay.
Right there on the wall is a Divine Nine paintings of all of the sororities and fraternities.
Yep, FAMU.
And I'm walking down, and I was much larger than this right now, so I was walking down to Skinner's to get me my chicken.
So you're walking slow.
I was walking. I was on a
You weren't
stroll.
trotting.
Yeah, I was not trotting.
Just painting the picture. Got it. Okay.
So I'm walking down to Skinner's to get me some chicken, and I look up and see a movie poster for Chocolate City.
Wow. Wow, you taking it back.
And right at that moment, because I was working as a weekender and on the radio, and I was like, there's dudes on campus. Because I'm thinking Spike Lee.
Yeah.
I'm like, these dudes got movie posters. I ain't even worried about the movie. I'm like, they got a movie poster up here. They promoting. They made it and they go here.
Yes.
I got to do better.
Yeah.
And I went to the station and was like, started volunteering for everything I could. Because I'm like, I got to find me some kind of hustle because they out here killing it.
Oh, wow. That's so dope,
Like,
man. That
absolutely.
inspiration.
I was like, yo, I have to tell you that. I mean, and then the story about how y'all distributed, Twa yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you drove
City
in
to
a
city.
rental car.
Yes.
To like, how many cities did you go to?
19 different cities.
Wow.
We drove. So this is before the days you could just, hit send and an Instagram post went out to 1 million people.
Right.
Or 75 million. I heard the Kim Kardashian
That's
question.
crazy.
Right.
I know.
That wasn't that. And so, a lot of people say, yo, what is the secret to success? Nobody really wants the real answer, which is just you got to work your butt off. You got to work harder than anybody else. It's not that you got to be better than anybody, but you got to outwork everybody. So, you are right. Myself, my partner, Rob Hardy, we made a movie called Chocolate City when we were students. It is still, to this day, the first movie made on an HBCU campus by its students, by HBCU students to get nationally distributed.
Mind blowing.
And so we drove, the next movie we did was a movie called Twa, right?
Yep.
It's starring Kenya Moore. A lot of people think that she first, just a real housewife. But before that, she was Miss USA. And after that, she was in a little freaky movie that Will Packer was a part of. And it was called Twa. It was literally about a menage a trois going wrong.
Yeah.
And so we drove, nobody would distribute it for us, so we had to distribute it ourselves. And so we drove city to city to city, and we would go and try to sneak into radio stations like this and say, hey, can you give me 30 seconds in between your next break, before you go and go to the news or cut to this, can you get? And so we literally drove from Atlanta to Birmingham, Alabama, to Jackson, Mississippi, to Charlotte, North Carolina, to Raleigh, to Greensboro, to Jacksonville,
out of your own
Florida.
pocket, though.
I know every market because I drove.
Yeah.
And we had a Ford excursion, so it didn't make any sense. You know how much it costs to fill up a Ford excursion? They don't even make it anymore.
Go broke.
Own pocket. We would drive. We had our little flyers, and we were hustling. That's the bottom line. And we went and we hustled that movie. And there's people listening right now. It's like, I remember Twa. I know that movie. That was our first movie after Chocolate City, which was the one we shot on campus. But the point is that Hollywood wasn't paying attention to us.
Yeah.
So if it's somebody listening to me right now and you got a dream, right? What can you do to make your dream happen? Are you waiting on somebody else to validate you? Are you waiting on somebody else to give you something? Right? Orlando, you saw that poster and said, I need to do something else.
I got to do more.
But that's what happens.
Inspirational.
Inspiration's all around us. We just got to find it, y'all. I'm from right here.
Right.
People, I know people listen worldwide, 94, but if you happen to be listening in Pinellas or Hillsborough, I'm right here. Public school system, right? Right here. I knew nobody in Hollywood. I didn't have any connections. I definitely didn't have any money, but I was willing to hustle and make it happen. I was very blessed, had a lot of good people around me, and here we go, man.
Was that even a dream of yours to do film when you were here? Like when you were in the position that they're in now riding to school, was that even fathomable for you to be like, I'm going to be, involved in Hollywood. I'm going to create content. I'm going to be a media mogul.
No.
None of that.
No, but I didn't know anything about that world, right? I just knew I wanted to be successful. And one thing that my parents taught me, right? And shout out to my mom. I said, Mom, I'm going to be on the radio. She said, what station, baby? I said, 94.1. She said, well, what channel is that? I said, okay, all right. Let me go to the house, turn it on. So 94.1 been playing in my mama's house for 3 days.
With the booty mix?
I was scared for her to change it because she looking for me on Netflix. So She always told me, listen, if your name is going to be on it, make sure you're giving it 110%. So I was like a lot of people on their way to school right now. Like, I don't want to study algebra. I don't want to learn world history. I don't want to do social study. Like, I didn't want to do that necessarily.
Right.
But I definitely, listen, I was a straight A student, man. I worked hard, right?
Yeah.
It didn't just start with me going to Hollywood working hard. I worked hard right, in middle school, high school. Like, you got to work hard now. You build a work ethic now.
Do you see the work ethic a little bit different with different generations, maybe the ones that are coming up now trying to intern or that you see on the movie set?
It's not the same hustle.
It's a little bit different, and I'm not the person that's like the old man, get off my lawn, that's always trying to, diss the young generation.
The haters.
What I will say is that the younger generation is more of an immediacy, I want it now, short-term attention span, because that's how everything works. It's how social media works, digital, everything is like, I want it now, I get it now.
Yes.
And the grind is real, right? And so what people don't know is, like, even for me, I'm very blessed, very successful right now, right? I put my resume against anybody's. But before that, there were years. After I graduated from FAMU and had made my first movie, Chocolate City, I then, with an engineering degree, moved to Atlanta, right? Packed everything up in a U-Haul truck, me and my partner, Rob Hardy, and I was then delivering newspapers for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Wow.
I was answering phones for Clorox, right? I was a temp. I was doing data entry. I did anything I could because I didn't want to go and get a full-time job in corporate, but that meant I had to hustle. It was years. Stomp the Yard was my first big hit. Shout out to anybody that remembers Stomp the Yard.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chris Brown down in the first 5 minutes. Apologies, whatever. We saw it. You know what I'm saying? It's over. It happened. It's over. But
I'm shocked to get you.
But Stomp the Yard, that I graduated from college in 1996. Stomp the Yard came out in 2007.
So
right?
that was a lot of find
That's
your way.
11 years.
It's grinding.
Yeah.
That's what people don't see. So you got to be willing to grind. That's what I would say to anybody listening right now. Put in the work, one foot in front of the other. Be patient. Don't give up, right? Define your own success. You will get there, but you got to be willing to put the work in.
I just got offended by Will Packer. He's in the building right now. He called my dorm the thug dorm,
It
which
definitely
honestly,
Listen.
on FAM's campus, he was over there with them Jezebels.
Oh, okay. So
I was
wait a
with the
minute.
good studious students that were they had a hustle.
Studious?
Yeah.
You call yourself studious?
So let me explain, okay? So we
Please,
both
please.
are proud, FAMU folks.
Yeah.
Highest of 7 hills.
Highest of 7 Hills. Tallahassee, Florida. Shout out FAMU. So I was in a dorm called Gibbs Hall.
Okay.
They tended to put the scholarship students in Gibbs Hall.
Together.
I was yes, and I was very proud. I was on a scholarship. It's called Life Gets Better. Our president at the time, Dr. Frederick S. Humphreys.
S. Humphreys.
Yep, R.I.P. He was great, and he went out and recruited folks like me who, because I actually was going to go to an Ivy League school.
Oh, wow.
And that's why, planned to do. I wanted to go to actually Wharton at University of Pennsylvania. I wanted to get my MBA. And Dr. Humphreys was saying, I'm going to get the best and the brightest to start coming to FAMU. You don't have to go to the Harvards and the Yales and the Penns. And so he gave us scholarship money, and we put us all in the same dorm. So
Okay.
we were studious. We were smart. We got our grades. We did that.
You took it
They
seriously.
were
We
boring.
did. Now, there was another dorm.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh, which dorm is this?
This was Sampson, and
Listen.
right next to it was a dorm called Young. Okay? Now, guess which dorm Orlando was in, okay? Now, the Sampson kids was over there. They were at FAM, but it wasn't really about, like, school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Partying.
They were like,
we
hey,
ended up DJs.
you ask Sampson people, when you going to graduate? Anytime somebody hit you with, that mean they don't know and probably don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So Orlando was in that dorm. They was over there stealing cable.
Yeah, we
What?
did. We stole cable
What?
from the room downstairs and worked it up. A big shout out to Will that's out there in McDill right now.
Listen, is the statute of limitations up before you
It's
you
up.
out here snitching on people? Are we sure we should say this on there? You naming names?
That's right, William Barker. Big
Oh,
shout
Lord.
out to
Oh,
him.
he done put his government out there.
You know we family. If I'm
Oh,
going to tell
God.
on him, he can't get in trouble.
William, get your passport right. Get out of here now, quick. They on the way.
We majored in the set.
Oh,
That's
my
what we
God.
majored
Exactly.
Because Orlando was supposed to be a lawyer, and then he turned to DJ.
Listen,
So I guess it
I
does
was
make
supposed
sense.
to go to law school, and it didn't work out that way. Daddy wasn't happy, but we talked
You know
about
what? You found your passion,
You
though.
find
your
You
path.
found what you were supposed to do, and you've now found your voice.
And you said the same thing. There's a recurring message here, and there's also a couple other gems because, I explained we were watching about Alec Baldwin and this whole Rust deal, and this has taught us something we didn't know about movies because the business side of it.
Yes.
And you live that part of it. These movies that you're behind, Ride Along, Girls Trip, Think Like a Man. Yep. You are in the office where you have to make sure these people are good.
Yes.
The film, the budget, you're watching lines of the business but behind the scenes.
Yes.
And so when I looked at him being, the charges being dropped, I'm like, wait a minute. Now, I didn't think he was, culpable, responsible for it, but when you had the girls from Girls Trip, the Jada Pinkett hanging off on the wire.
Zip line.
Yeah. Oh, you got Idris out here with this line.
Yeah.
You got to go through all of the stuff to make sure that they stay safe.
Oh,
you
100%.
had to find the line.
Absolutely. You as the producer, and that's what people don't think about. They only think sometimes about like the athletes and entertainers, the people that you see in front of the camera. But I say, especially the people that are looking for like what they want to do, their passion, their career. Anytime you see somebody that is in front of the camera, somebody behind the camera is making decisions, doing deals, and probably making a lot of money doing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's keep an eye out for what is that business opportunity that you could have. So you talked about Rush, you talked about like Girls Trip and all that. Yes, I have to make sure that my sets are as safe as possible so that I'm not liable for something that could happen. Now, things happen all the time on a movie set, right? It's really, really rare for you to have a loss of life, and that is the most tragic thing that can happen. But we have to do every single thing possible to make sure that we're keeping everybody as safe as possible. That's a big part of the business. But by the way, the same thing is true with, like, say, a general manager on a football team or whoever your favorite rapper is. Who's managing them? Right. Who's running that label? Who's the executive over it? I want people to think beyond just the folks that are in front of the camera. Nothing wrong with that at all. And if you have that talent, do it. But that is such a minuscule percentage. Yeah. And there's so many opportunities for folks that are behind the camera, behind the scenes, that have to be really, really smart.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing I'll say to folks out there that feel like, okay, well, I know I want to act. I know I want to write. I know I want to be a rapper. That's fine. Get you somebody that has that business acumen. Get you somebody who can be next to you, who will keep an eye on the books, who will keep an eye. Because if you think they're giving you that money for that video and for that photo shoot, and you think that's your money, you need a better lawyer. Right. You need a better business person. You need somebody next to you who can keep an eye on it so you can go out and do your artist thing.
We tell people all the time when we talk in schools, we're like, man, there's certain people we look at who've done it well. Like, I know you and Luda are tight. And Luda put everybody through school and made them his team.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you going to culinary arts school, now you're going to be my chef.
Elevated
now
everybody.
Now we're going to open a restaurant together.
Correct.
And not just your big homie as your bodyguard. Yep. Like real folks with real careers. So behind the scenes ends up being a lot more worthwhile because you're not just hot for 2 summers.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying? Britney Spears might be up in front of the thing, but the person who's managing her is living with a bunch of different clients.
Absolutely. And fame is fleeting, and we know that, And so what you're going to do is, we were just talking a little bit off air, you've been in this game for 25 years.
Yes.
How many rappers, how many hot artists have come through your stations, your platforms?
Oh, man.
How many of them are still relevant as long
every
as you've
18
been
months,
relevant?
there's the new one.
That's how it works.
The new one coming through.
That's how it works. Whatever y'all jamming to right now on the radio, I hope that artist lasts, but in 3 years, I wouldn't bet on it.
Right, exactly.
That's all I'm going to say.
That's true. It's just how it is these days, especially.
Yeah. We are in here with Will Packer right now. It's Will Packer Day. I'm breaking all kind of rules now.
You hear that, Mama? I made it. You hear that? My mama probably on the wrong station right now. Baby, I was trying to listen.
You've made so many different movies, and your hands are in different areas. And you've worked with a lot of different comedians at the same time. Just to throw a couple out there, I'll just mention like Kevin Hart. Do you have like a favorite at all? Just because you have a more enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know what? I like people who work hard.
Okay.
I really, really do. My favorites are the folks that have a tremendous work ethic, right? And Kevin Hart is definitely one of them. Yeah. I like to say I made all the good Kevin Hart movies. All his movies not good, but the good ones I take responsibility for.
You wasn't involved with Soul Plane?
No, nothing to do with that. I saved him from Soul Plane. I tell him all the time he owes his career to me. But somebody like that, he's a hustler. He's always going to work hard. I tell you a quick Kevin Hart story. He had one of the biggest years of his life, right, where he had a sitcom on the air and he had a tour that had gotten picked up. And at the end of that year, he had made more money he ever had before. But because of what had happened the years before, his tax accountant came to him and said, great, congratulations, you had a big year. You only owe $200,000 to the government now. He was like, what? What are you talking about? So he realized fame was fleeting. By the way, they canceled his sitcom that year, right? Soul Plane came out and bombed. So he was at a point where people were not really checking for Kevin Hart. Yeah. People think, oh, Kevin's always been big. No, not true. Same thing is true with somebody like Beyonce, honestly. Beyonce's work ethic, I've had the opportunity to work with her a couple times. She outworks everybody. She's who she is for a reason because she works so very hard.
And the Illuminati
is another one. Who?
And the Illuminati.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that, sir. That feels inappropriate to reference right now.
Are you in the Illuminati?
Why did he go there? I was talking about work ethic. He just went and
they work too.
If she in it, I'm in it. So I don't know what that means. Just joking. Not in it.
We're going to end up on TikTok. Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke.
I knew it was real. You know, you can't say stuff. You can't even play with me with these days.
It was a joke.
It's nice surrounding yourself with people that want to be successful. And even though they become successful, they still want to grind every single day. And they also want to surround themselves with successful people at the same time because they say you are who you surround yourself with.
No question. If you look at your team and you are the smartest, you are the most successful, you are the only one in your team that's going places, right? It may feel good, but you need a better team.
Yes.
You need people that are going to push you. Right? You need people that are going to elevate you. I tell people all the time, you claim to be an eagle, but if everybody around you is a duck, you look like a duck. I'm just going to tell you.
Use a duck.
When you talk, it sounds like quacking. Let's be honest with you. Get you people that are going to soar like you can soar. Look at the folks around you.
In the building.
I love that.
That was a quotable right there.
Yes, it is.
Now, wait, we got Patty Foot just got a shout out.
Oh, boy.
They just got a shout out.
Okay, so now, we talked about Sampson and Young.
Yes.
So there's a little education for folks that don't know, right?
Okay.
So Gibbs, smart people, right? Will Packer. Sampson and Young, right? Those are like the thieves that wasn't really trying to graduate, people that was partying all the time. Orlando. Okay.
Yeah.
Patty Foot was a straight up thug. You did not walk through Patty Foot at night.
Oh my gosh.
Patty Foot, they was only there to rob you.
Oh,
okay.
Damn.
That was you.
Patty Foot was a
end up at Patty Foot like this because you know how you get pizza ordered delivered to campus.
Yeah.
Like Domino's, those people they wouldn't deliver to Patty Foot.
Oh
because
my
it was dark. It was one way in, one way out. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody was gonna get him. Somebody was gonna get him. They was.
Shout out to FAMU. I got some people. I'm gonna catch flack for this, Orlando. I knew I should have came up here with you.
That was way back.
Why is Will Packer up there? I got an amphitheater on campus now. I love all things FAMU. I'm not. You got to have me talking about my school.
Listen, I tell everybody because I went to both schools. I went to FAM and FSU, and I will tell you that FAM is responsible for a lot inside me. Like, you know what I'm saying? We joke about it, taught us how to stand in lines because of financial aid and everything else. But it's a lot in it. Like, when you walk away with teachers that you remember, like I told you, Vernon Smith.
Yes.
And Attorney Ravenel.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people who I just remember that I'm like, yo, these Colonel Hobbs, these people are like involved in my life. The people who I grew up with, I still have them as family. And I know you feel the same way.
There's no question.
You know, so that experience means so much that people don't necessarily understand. It's not just being black. It's just that's a major part of it. But to see so many people care about you and pour into you, that's a major part.
It's the community. Orlando, you hit it right on the head. And I didn't want to go to FAMU, right? I was, coming out of school, I was hot stuff, you know what I mean? I was top of my class, Sapie High School, and I was like, I'm going to an Ivy League. And my parents were like, you know where you're going? You're going to FAMU. A, they gave you a scholarship. B, you need that because you think you just this little smart black kid out here that can do no wrong, right? And you need to go and get some communal experience and you need that competition and you need to go to a place where you're not just special because you stand out because you're the one black kid in the honors class, which I was, right? And my parents were like, you need to go to a place where they're going to nurture you. And exactly what you just said, Orlando, is so true about HBCUs across the country. And that's the thing I tell people. It doesn't have to be for everybody, but for those of us that do go, we have a very different experience because you feel loved, you feel nurtured, you feel like there's somebody that actually gives a damn about you at that school, and that's not the case everywhere.
No, absolutely. All right, now wait, we only got a couple more minutes because I know you got a lot to do.
I got to work on this pitch, brother, because now you got me nervous. Y'all came up here and asked, have you been warming up? I was like, no, should I?
Listen, you got to work on the pitch because I threw out the pitch.
How'd you do? Did you make the plate?
I bounced
you
it.
You didn't make it to the plate?
I bounced it, and so many people, they booed me. I ran out there, they cheered.
Are you serious?
They booed me, and I mean, people were like, yo, Orlando, I listen to you every day. It bounced, and they were like, boo.
Okay, all right, the pressure's on. Listen.
You better get wherever
you at. I will go from hometown hero to take your ass back to Hollywood quick, huh? Okay, let me tell you a true story. The last time, this is actually my second time being able to throw an opening pitch. The last time, this is why I got to do good, because the Rays are hot right now, right? I can't mess it up.
You can't.
Last time I threw a pitch was for the Braves the year they won the World Series.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay,
True story.
Oh. Wow.
So, I'm not saying it's me, but if I do this pitch and the Rays win the World Series,
oh my gosh.
I'm going to start charging for these services. You know what I'm saying?
To Tampa Bay, people.
Tampa Bay,
That's
baby.
what we doing.
I have a quick question that I just want to hit on really fast.
Okay.
And it's been talked about, but I need to know. I need to talk to you about.
Orlando, here it comes.
You produced the last, well, not the last Oscars, but the ones before that.
The most important
the
Oscars.
most, I mean,
the
jarring.
one that was interesting. Last year was kind of boring, guys. Let's be honest. The one that.
What in the hell happened? Can you break it down backstage?
All right, we out of time.
Bit?
Sounds like that's the time. Somebody said they got to go.
Chris Rock, Will Smith.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where were you when that happened?
I
was right. So okay. So I'm up here. I'm actually here. My producing partner Shayla Cowan is here, and we actually are the first all-black producing team to produce the Oscars.
Absolutely.
I was so excited and hyped about that, and we was having a good show.
Yeah.
You know, I had Meg Thee Stallion out there, DJ Khaled. I had a DJ in the arena, and everything was going swimmingly, as we say.
Wearing Oscar gold on your
What
suit.
I had on a tux, I was ready to go. So I'm literally right backstage. So I'm at the place where when all the people come off stage, they actually see me. I'm one of the first people they see when they come off stage. Chris goes up. He starts his set. Because it's a live show and it's such a big show, you rehearse that show over and over and over again. So I knew what everybody was going to say.
Yeah.
Chris immediately went off book.
Oh.
Now, it's Chris Rock.
Right.
I'm not worried about it. It's Chris Rock.
It's common, too, for comedians to do that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if anybody is going to go off book and be great, it's going to be Chris Rock. Mm-hmm. He immediately went off book. He told a Jada joke, right? She didn't laugh. I'm back there because we got to figure out who you're going to cut to, what you're going to show. We showed Jada. She clearly did not like that joke. I was like, ooh, okay, that was kind of weird. All right, Chris, bring it back, right?
Yeah.
Then it happens, right? Will walks up on that stage.
Hiya.
Guys, I thought it was a bit that they had done and not told us about. I literally thought this is a skit. And I'm back there and on the mic, and I turned to Shayla and I said, well, that wasn't that funny. So we got to, how do you come back from that? Like, they got to, okay, guys, come on, do something.
So the slap you actually happened and you were like, oh.
Absolutely.
Oh, you thought okay.
When he came off stage, I came up, I was the first person to talk to Chris. I said, did he slap you? Did he really? He said, hell yeah. He said, Muhammad Ali just punched the S out of me. I said, oh my gosh. And people were like, well, you showed it, like meaning us producing it. But you got to understand with live TV, it's like a tennis match. You just follow the ball.
Yes.
Right.
And so we had to be on Chris. We had to cut to Will because we didn't know what he was yelling from the audience. And when you're producing live television, you just got to go to the action. Once we saw him cussing, once we saw him say, keep my, I said, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
He is unhappy.
Did your heart just sink?
Oh, I said not like this. I literally, that single Denzel tear rolled down my cheek because this was my moment and we was having our time and this was the Oscars for people of color to shine.
Yeah.
And it was a night. It was Wakanda.
If two white people slapped each other, I don't want white on white crime, but just this one time, because we
don't let it be us.
Like, come on, Brad Pitt, come over there and slap Matthew McConaughey one. Like, I need it. Not Will and Chris, guys. Yeah,
Now, let me ask you, when the Jada joke hit, did you laugh?
Well, I'm so busy doing.
Like
I know what you're getting at, Orlando.
But I'm saying, like, was it fun? Because Will laughed,
he
and
did.
the crowd laughed because
did.
It was like it was a middle joke. It wasn't a big hit.
Yep.
But I'm like, did it seem
Can I tell you
as
a
egregious?
secret of comedy, which you probably know? A lot of people don't. Comedy is actually all about reaction in real life. So Ice Cube, I worked with Cube a bunch of times. Cube has worked with Kevin Hart and Cat Williams, Chris Tucker, right? Because he's a great reaction guy. When you watch movies, everybody is listening to me. Watch this next time you watch your funny show that you like, your funny movie. It's about the reaction that tells you how to feel about the joke, right? Your greatest comedians have great reaction people. So the joke was funny to some people, Orlando, but the reaction made it cringe because we immediately cut to Jada, who did not laugh, who rolled her eyes
Who was
at
upset.
it. Reactions are very important.
Right.
So for me, it wasn't about was it funny or not. It was about did it land. And you're right. In the room, people laughed. Will laughed. But the reaction we showed was cringe, which immediately took the air out of that joke. So just a little producer behind the scenes kind of thing. And once she did that, I was like, ugh.
It's awkward. Everybody feels that.
Will, went on stage and I said, oh. And then he yelled from the stage and I said, oh, kill me now.
They're like, where'd you get that Pepto-Bismol?
Do you think security should have taken Will out of, because essentially he did assault somebody up on stage?
Yeah. Well, you know what? That we got into that because ultimately it was a decision. He was about to then win, he was up for the big award.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought that if he goes up and cleans it up and does like a big apology, it could be okay,
Right.
So the conversation was had, the decision was made. You know what? To remove him right in that moment was not the thing to do. That was not what was decided to do.
And that's an executive decision you have to make as well. So you don't get to enjoy the show.
Oh, no.
Everything that's happening, you're living it.
And it's in real time. So you can always look back and say, oh, you should have did this, should have did that. You did the best that we could given everything. It's live television. You never know what's going to happen, and it is what it is.
That just took over the world for a while. So thank you so much. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We talk about it. It happened. By the way, what the big lesson is? You never know what's going to happen. You got to be able to move past. First of all, you got to be able to think quick on your feet, make the best decision you can at the time, and then move past it. I'm still very proud of that show. I'm telling y'all, go back and look at that Oscars. Other than that,
was lit.
By the way, the ratings were up, right? And not because of the slap. Slap happened too late. If I knew the slap was going to happen, I'd have put it at the top of the show. I'm just going to tell you that now. But we had Beyonce do the open, I mean, it was a great show.
Yes,
so I'm still very, very proud of it. It's a very diverse show. I'm proud of that as well.
Listen, I just want to make sure, because I know you got a lot of running to do. You're in the city. This is not just your day for now, but I got to tell you, this is your day all day because you've given a lot of inspiration for these people who are listening. We're going to make sure this is shared on our socials, on our web.
That's awesome.
Because I love the fact that people who are out there who don't know their way just heard that you didn't either, and looking at you shine.
100%.
That's incredible. Now, the last thing I just want to ask you is, we talked about when you were in the car headed to school here, and you had dreams and things.
Yes.
Now that you've achieved all of this, do you still dream, and do you still have, because it feels like with this success, they're more like plans now. Do you still have dreams?
When you stop dreaming, you die. Dreams are all we have. So I don't care if you are on your way to elementary school right now or on the way to a big job that you love or hate. It doesn't matter. You got to keep dreaming. I still dream. I dream big in color. There are other things I want to do, big things I want to do, things within the industry, things outside the industry. So you got to keep dreaming no matter what level you're at. Listen to me. I am very blessed. I'm very, very happy in my life. I still dream. Every day. I still got things I want to accomplish, things I go for, and I still work hard every day to accomplish my dreams. True story, brother.
Hey, man, that's Will Packer right there.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, y'all.
Right there. Hey.
Yo, shout out Campbell Park Elementary. My girl Darvette, she's out there. She's been teaching for 26 years. I told her if she tuned in and listened, let the kids listen, that I wouldn't cuss. So shout out to Darvette.
Well, we appreciate you not cussing.
We thank you, and the FCC thanks you as well. All right, Will, thanks so much, man, for coming in here. Will Packer's in the building.
Hey.